What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more Gordon Lightfoot from the Complete Greatest Hits compilation. Thank you again to Yvonne. And the next tune is Sundown, which, if just looked at on the surface, refers to the setting of the sun, the presence of twilight, the coming of night, the ending of day, the turning over of another daily cycle. And of course, all those things could be metaphors for human experiences and processes on a larger scale. I do feel like noting that a sundown town is something of a darker and more problematic historical context, meaning sundown towns were towns where the only people who were allowed to live there were white people, and those people of color who may come into the town to work or passing through, they were no longer allowed to be there after sundown. So yeah, that's a part of the sordid and ugly, prejudicial, racist history of different locations, and I wouldn't be surprised if that might be part of what's going on here. Though again, it could be, number one, just a more general idea of sundown, the ending of a day, maybe within an individual narrative, and number two, it could be something, either Canadian in cultural context or just something that is narrow, but not narrow in terms of it relating to a sundown town. So these are the things that go through my head when I looked at this title. Let's see what it is in practice, or at the very least what I can pick up on a first listen. This is Gordon Lightfoot. The track is Sundown, and it's from his Complete Greatest Hits compilation, or included on the Complete Greatest Hits compilation.
See her lying back in her satin dress, in a room where you do what you don't confess. Sundown, you better take care if I find you've been creeping round my back stairs. Sundown, you better take care if I find you've been creeping round my back stairs. She's been looking like a queen in a sailor's dream, and she don't always say what she really means. Sometimes I think it's a shame when I get feeling better when I'm feeling no pain. Sometimes I think it's a shame when I get feeling better when I'm feeling no pain. Picture every move that a man could make. Getting lost in her loving is your first mistake. Sundown, you better take care if I find you've been creeping round my back stairs. Sometimes I think it's a sin when I feel like I'm winning when I'm losing again. See her looking fast in her faded jeans. She's a hard-loving woman, got me feeling mean. Sometimes I think it's a shame when I get feeling better when I'm feeling no pain. Sundown, you better take care if I find you've been creeping round my back stairs. Sundown, you better take care if I find you've been creeping round my back stairs. Sometimes I think it's a sin when I feel like I'm winning when I'm losing again.
I'm trying to think of how to characterize that one sonically. Again, there's a folk rock vibe, but it's got almost a bit of soulfulness to it. And then there's, like, in those vocals, which sound like layered, it sounds like multiple Gordons, but either way, like, there's almost a bit of a country vibe, so, like, country folk soul somewhere in there. And okay, so the song starts, and lyrically I'm like, oh, wait, maybe this is about, sundown, things that typically happen more often at night in terms of, let's say, intimate interactions. And I was thinking at first, like, oh, it's a room where this happens. Maybe this is like a lady of the night that he goes to for relief, for solace. But then, like, over the course of the song, I was like, wait, do I have it the other way around? It sounds like, he's saying, like, the sun goes down, like, don't let me find you around my back steps. So it's maybe like, she's a mistress or like a temptress, and, he's talking about, like, is it a sin when it, like, what does it feel so good when he should be feeling so bad, something like that. So I was thinking maybe he is having relations with her, but, like, it's not on the level, or it's, it's part of some infidelity, and he's, in the moment it feels good, but then he's feeling like, like I shouldn't be doing this, and, don't come around here or whatever. But then he is describing her as, being like a hard loving woman, and describes her in a dress at first, and then, like, I think faded blue jeans later. So I don't quite know who she is, but it does sound like they're having relations, however legitimate or under the table that might be. And I do think Sundown is both a literal reference, but also, like, I'm good during the day, but when she comes around at night, it's, it's difficult to not get involved in this, is what it feels like. Now, maybe I'm completely wrong. Maybe that's not what's happening here. I certainly don't think it has anything to do with sundown towns, but yeah, definitely it feels like there's a confliction in the feeling and the attitude of the narrator, and I enjoy the way Gordon plays that vocally, because it's like you can hear the strain, you can hear sort of the tension, and maybe again the, like, the angel on one shoulder, the devil on the other shoulder is sort of the vibe that I got, even though that may not be what's happening narratively. But yeah, again, just kind of mellow, soulful guitar, great vocals, and this kind of smooth, soulful folk rock vibe, if that makes sense. So that's what I got from this one. Do let me know what you think, and I will see you next time. Peace.